On this earth, certain places appear completely harmless at first glance. But to an awakened soul, they are slow-acting poison. When the divine chooses you, he entrusts you with a sacred portion, Michael, because your light carries a unique mission, a vibration that cannot mingle with darkness without dimming. And when you wander into hostile territory, that flame begins to flicker. Today, I reveal to you 9 spaces that every chosen one must avoid at all costs. These are zones of spiritual peril where your power drains, your energy empties, and your path slowly becomes unclear. First space, the one where your old weaknesses still wait for you. There are places that still hold the memory of your false corners, soaked in your past tears, shadows echoing forgotten desires, eyes that once knew the version of you that no longer exists. No matter how much time has passed since your deliverance, that call returns in moments of weariness or loneliness. Whether it's a physical location, a person, or just a memory, going back there reopens wounds you fought so hard to heal. Dark forces love to use the familiar as a trap, because the human heart instinctively seeks comfort in what it knows. Even when what it knows is destructive, they whisper, just one more time. You've changed. You can handle it now. But that single visit can undo years of healing and discipline. Chosen one, never return to the place the divine delivered you from. When he closes a door, even curiosity becomes disobedience. The past promises nostalgia. It delivers bondage. Darkness doesn't need new traps when the old ones still work. It only needs you to forget the price you paid to escape. Leave your story buried. Resurrection is for your purpose, not for temptation. Every step backward delays your future. Remember, what the divine freed you from was never meant to be a vacation spot. It was a prison. Don't treat your old chains like souvenirs. True freedom isn't measured by your ability to resist temptation, but by the distance you keep from it. Guard your deliverance like treasure. The shadows always want back what they lost. Second space, the one where your soul feels an intangible weight. Have you ever crossed a threshold and instantly known something was wrong? Smiles are present, lights are bright, music is loud. Yet, an unexplained heaviness settles inside you. This isn't anxiety. It's discernment. The spiritual realm speaks first through feelings long before your mind catches up. When your peace is assaulted for no visible reason, your soul is sending you a clear signal. This is not your territory. Some environments carry residues of dark intentions, envy, bitterness, unseen disturbances. tells another story. Energy cannot be faked. It exposes what words try to hide. When you feel that density, don't rationalize it. The chosen are spiritual barometers. Their being reacts to hidden forces. Light cannot rest comfortably in darkness. Every time you ignore that heaviness, you expose yourself to contamination. Defend your peace like a fortress. Your intuition isn't just a hunch, it's divine intelligence. When heaven warns, obedience becomes your shield. There are places the divine has marked as off limits because your presence there interferes with his protection. Some atmospheres aren't cursed, they're simply not for you. Never force your spirit to settle where it senses danger. That discomfort isn't weakness, it's sacred sensitivity. Listen to that inner voice, divine whispering. Leave before the atmosphere drains what he gave you. Third space, the one where you're tolerated but never truly valued, awakened. Souls often step into circles where they feel invisible, where their light shines too brightly for those accustomed to darkness. You feel it in the way people respond to your presence. Polite smiles, empty compliments, forced energy instead of genuine warmth. These are not your spaces. You were not called to shrink yourself to fit into environments that cannot. Recognize your worth. The divine did not pour his oil over your life so you would beg for validation. The moment you have to dim your flame to be accepted, heaven is whispering. You were never meant to fight to belong in places too small to hold your greatness. Divine energy never accommodates disrespect. When others can only handle a watered-down version of you, it's not rejection, it's redirection. The spirit of the divine disturbs your peace in the wrong environments because comfort in the wrong place marks the beginning of spiritual decline. Go where your soul is seen, where your serenity is protected, where your growth is nurtured. When the divine lifts you, not everyone can breathe at your altitude. Some will resent what they cannot reach. Others will misunderstand your calling because it confronts their stagnation. Don't stay where you're merely endured out of fear of being alone. Timely solitude is safer than inclusion in false circles. Are sacred. They prove heaven approves your next season. Fourth space, the one of endless distractions. In our hyper-connected age, distraction has become one of darkness's most effective weapons. This place of diversion isn't always physical, it can live in the palm of your hand, glowing through a screen, whispering through endless notifications. You scroll, compare, chase noise instead of silence, and hours vanish. Yet your spirit feels emptier than before. Distraction isn't always loud. Sometimes it's soft disguised as entertainment, news, or self-expression. But the chosen know every minute stolen from your focus is a seed that could have grown toward your destiny. Darkness doesn't need to destroy you. You just need to keep you busy. A distracted mind cannot hear divine instructions. Every swipe, every like, every comparison pulls you further from your sacred frequency. The chosen thrive in focus. Protect your attention like sacred currency, because whatever captures your gaze directs your energy. And your energy is your essence. Your divine power flows through concentration. When you give it to the trivial, you scatter fragments of your strength. Learn to disconnect from the noise so you can reconnect to your source. Silence isn't emptiness, it's alignment. Every major revelation is born in stillness. Unplug, not because the world is evil, but because your destiny shines brightest when the noise fades. Be intentional. Your energy is not public property, it's a sanctuary. Defend it fiercely, fifth space, the one where beauty conceals emptiness. Darkness doesn't always arrive with horns. Sometimes it dresses exactly like everything you've ever wanted. There are places, opportunities, relationships that look perfect on the outside, yet feel hollow inside. A stunning setting can still be spiritually bankrupt. The chosen must learn to see beyond appearances, because deception often hides behind aesthetics. Dark forces are masters of marketing. They sell nothingness in luxurious packaging, places full of laughter but starving for peace, promising success but delivering exhaustion, circles that praise your name while poisoning your spirit. Discernment is the only sight that cuts through the sparkle. The chosen understand not every open door is a divine invitation. Some are decoys, designed to derail destiny. The divine's blessings bring peace, not pressure. If it disturbs your soul, it's not from him. Some environments are beautifully decorated prisons where your joy is traded for appearances and your purpose for applause. Don't let temporary beauty seduce you out of eternal alignment. Learn to hear the silence beneath the noise. That's where truth speaks. Sacred things carry lightness. Counterfeits carry glamour. If your soul feels uneasy in a seemingly perfect place, trust your spirit over your senses. Darkness always tries to make the fake look like the real, but discernment always reveals the truth behind the glow. Walk not by sight, but by spirit. You don't need every opportunity. You need a divine mission. Remember, not every paradise comes from heaven, sixth space, the one where you forget who you are. The awakened must never linger in environments that strip away their sacred identity. There are places and people that slowly erode your sense of purpose, not through open attack, but through subtle doubt. You know those spaces where your faith is mocked, your values despised, your spiritual truth treated as madness. You start feeling foolish for believing in something bigger, and your divine fire flickers under the winds of ridicule. But remember this: every moment spent in a misaligned atmosphere risks spiritual amnesia. You forget your crown, your anointing, your mission. The divine placed authority in you, not for pride, but for blessing. Any place that makes you doubt that authority is a disguised trap. Darkness doesn't need to steal your destiny if it can make you forget it. The chosen weren't made to blend in. They were made to stand out even when it's uncomfortable. The world may call your conviction arrogance. It's divine confidence wrapped in humility. Identity isn't maintained in comfort, it's protected in awareness. Stay in spaces that remind you of your calling. Feed your purpose. Expand your growth. Any environment that demands your silence when truth is calling is too small for your soul. You weren't created to be liked by everyone. You were created to lead by example. Never linger where your spiritual imprint fades. The divine didn't call you to conform. He called you to transform the atmosphere. And if the atmosphere refuses to change, your absence will be your message. Seventh space, the one where words poison the air. The first place a chosen soul must flee is where gossip reigns, where wound instead of heal. You feel it before you even join the conversation. The air grows heavy. Laughter rings hollow. Your inner peace evaporates. Gossip isn't harmless chatter. It's spiritual pollution disguised as casual talk. Every word thrown against another leaves a lingering vibration, poisoning those who hear and those who speak. The power of the chosen flows through purity. A clean heart, clear intentions, a controlled tongue. When you sit among those who tear others down with words, you lower your vibration to match theirs. Even in silence, your silence becomes participation. The divine does not dwell where the tongue is used as a weapon. Lips that bless cannot curse. The same mouth that worships cannot wound. Guard your ears like sacred gateways. What enters will eventually take root in your heart. And what takes root shapes your future by protecting your energy from gossip. You protect your divine power. Some atmospheres carry invisible toxins, ones that kill joy, distort vision, invite confusion. Stay away from those tables. The feast served there is poison to the soul. Peace cannot coexist with pettiness. Eighth space, the one of mismatched connections. One of the hardest lessons for the chosen is realizing not everyone can walk with you. You can love deeply, give endlessly, and still remain misunderstood. This place of incompatibility isn't always romantic. It can involve friendships, business partnerships, even family ties. It's where your energy and another's constantly clash, creating silent battles that drain your peace. You try to explain your vision, they see limits. You rise, they pull you down, not out of malice, but because your light exposes what they refuse to face. The divine doesn't mix oil with water, fire with dust. Spiritual incompatibility isn't about superiority, it's about frequency. You cannot walk in your purpose while chained to someone still loyal to their past. The moment you must lower your vibration to keep the peace, that connection has already expired. Love doesn't always mean staying. Sometimes release is the most loving act you can offer for them and for yourself. Protect your alignment. Misalignment invites chaos. Darkness seeks to bind you to those who dilute your discernment. Learn to separate loyalty from limitation. Not everyone who started the journey with you is meant to finish it with you. Some were divine assignments for a season, not eternal companions. You owe no apology for outgrowing those who refuse to evolve. When you protect your soul, you protect your future. Mismatched connections may feel peaceful, but they exhaust your strength. Walk with those who vibrate at your level of elevation, not at your history of pain. Ninth space, the one you were never meant to return to. This may be the most dangerous of all. The place you've outgrown, the one that once felt like home, but now feels foreign. The divine often allows discomfort to push you out of the familiar, because your destiny cannot thrive in stagnation. Many chosen ones lose their power, not through sin, but through nostalgia. They refuse to leave where their spirit no longer belongs. You cannot soar while clinging to dead branches. Growth is uncomfortable, but staying in what has expired is fatal to the soul. Don't go back to prove anything. Don't go back to fix what the divine has already closed. Don't go back to make others comfortable. Every visit to dead seasons revives what was meant to stay buried. Familiarity feels safe. It breeds spiritual decay. The divine doesn't live in your past. He lives in your destiny. He doesn't pour fresh oil into old vessels. Old places, you lower your frequency to match a version of yourself that no longer exists. Sometimes the isolation the divine creates isn't punishment, it's protection. Those left behind may not understand your distance. They weren't called to your next level. Don't waste sacred energy justifying divine direction. Move forward, even if it's lonely. Your next blessing waits ahead. The path of the chosen is narrow, but it is holy. Your past proves where you came from. Your future proves who the divine is shaping you to become. Never look back. Lot's wife did, and she became a pillar of salt. Some doors close, not out of rejection, but out of redirection. Trust that every chosen soul must embrace this truth. Your spiritual safety is not about fear, it's about wisdom. The divine hides his greatest warriors, not to punish them, but to protect them. These 9 places may look ordinary, yet they pose an extraordinary danger to any soul carrying a divine mission. Which of these spaces shook you the most today? Have you ever fled one of them? And what changed in your life as a result? Tell me in the comments, what is your personal forbidden place? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message right now. And if you feel the call, subscribe so you never miss a revelation. Thank you for listening all the way through. May your flame burn bright.